Well, hello again and happy Thanksgiving. I'm glad you joined me again. Tonight I'm going to be doing a reading from the Thanksgiving chapter of my book, Unbroken. And we're having cocktails, of course. Tonight's drink is Black Girl Magic, the Sparkling Brut by the McBride Sisters. If you haven't picked up a bottle, you should. It's excellent. All right, I'm going to have a drink or a sip and then we're going to get started. So this chapter picks up Jose and Lincoln have been a couple for quite a few years, although Lincoln's mother still can't accept it. This is when they arrive for Thanksgiving, somewhat unexpectedly. Thanksgiving dinner at my mother's house was a ritual, an inescapable obligation, and a torment. My mother made it clear Jose wasn't welcome, so we used to drive up from Washington together, and he'd go to his mother and I'd go to mine. My mother didn't want him there mostly, I assume, because she always invited the hapless daughters of her friends and various cousins' friends to dinner. These poor girls were clearly invited for my benefit. Often the brighter ones looked unhappy, as if being brought together with me, this slightly effeminate and wholly uninterested man, clearly an impossible match, was the best anyone thought they could do. This particular Thanksgiving, Jose insisted on accompanying me. Given what had happened at his mother's and that we hadn't been to Sunday dinner since, I wasn't surprised when he invited himself along. Fed up with my mother's treatment of him and determined that if there was no place for him, then I would make a place for him or give up mine. I did not tell my mother I would be bringing Jose to dinner. My father answered the door. He looked surprised to see Jose, but just said hello. "Is that Lincoln?" my mother called from the kitchen. "Come in here. I have a special guest I want you to meet." "Oh, good," I called, heading for the kitchen, Jose in tow. "I have a special guest, too." I walked into the kitchen. My mother's expression immediately soured when she saw Jose. "I brought Jose along," I said and kissed her cheek. "I knew you wouldn't mind." I glanced at the young woman beside her, who was bent over a bowl, her hands working furiously at some task. Spindly and hesitant, she looked like an exotic up-ended bird in purple feathers and pleats, her upswept hair like a giant bird's nest atop her head. Silver braces striking, she perched on the edge of a stool. I realized she was shelling peas. My mother introduced us. She was aptly named Alouetta Bird, then grudgingly went into the dining room to set a place for Jose. Alouetta looked at me carefully through beady mascaraed eyes as if I were a plump worm washed up from the earth during the first heavy rain of spring after a long dry winter. Jose put his arm around me, his left hand clasping my right shoulder lightly in a casual gesture that carried with it the possessiveness of long intimacy. "Alouetta," he said. "Is that French?" She looked at him for the first time. Her eyes strayed back to where his hand lay on my shoulder. "Yes, I'm from Louisiana originally," she said. She continued shelling her peas. Later, on my way to the bathroom, I noticed my mother had produced place cards from somewhere. Her arrangement seated Jose as far away from me as possible. When I returned to the living room, I whispered to Jose, "You are not going to be happy with the seating arrangements." He immediately excused himself. When he came back, he sat on the sofa beside me and smiled. Alouetta, unnerved by Jose's barely concealed hostility and my own indifference, self-consciously wandered around the living room, examining the spines of books on the bookshelves and picking up family photos that dotted every surface like punctuation in a story of a family. She picked up a picture of me, age 5. "Oh, Lincoln, is this you?" "It is," I said. "Oh my," she chirped. "Look at all those curls. You look like a little girl." My mother tensed. My father and brothers, pretending to be engrossed in the football game on TV, acted as if they hadn't heard her comment. Alouetta, realizing her mistake, put down the picture as if it had burned or bitten her. Turning to my mother, she said brightly, "Hey, Mrs. Deschabat, there are certainly a lot of pictures of you." "What do you mean?" my mother asked darkly. "There are pictures of other people, too." "Yes, but you're in those as well." I stifled the laugh. My brothers, refusing to get involved, didn't take their eyes off the TV screen and talked loudly to each other about whatever had just happened on the football field. Jose looked at a picture of my parents on the end table next to him. "Hey," he whispered, "your parents look alike. Do you think we'll begin to look alike?" "No," I whispered back. They've always looked alike. They're actually related somehow, though no one is quite sure how." "I can't imagine marrying someone who looked like me," Jose said. "What would be the point of that?" Given my mother's narcissism, I didn't find it surprising she had fallen in love with a man who looked like her. I used to wish I looked like you, I said. Me? Why? Because I used to think you were the handsomest boy in the world. And now? Now I think you're the handsomest man in the world. I glanced around, then leaned in and kissed him quickly. My mother caught the movement and turned her attention on us. Hey, she said loudly, what are you two plotting over there? Everyone turned to look at us. Jose, move over so Alouetta can sit down, my mother commanded, then excused herself to return to the kitchen. Jose scooted closer to me, forcing Alouetta to sit next to him rather than next to me as my mother had intended. She personally edged the sofa and leaned around him to speak to me. Jose sat back stiffly and, ignoring us both, stared at the TV. Suddenly he turned to her. Alouetta, such a pretty name, he said. It's from the children's song, isn't it? He started singing, Alouetta gentle, Alouette, je te plumerai. Alouetta stiffened. That song, she said, is horrible. It's about a lark that has her feathers, eyes, and beak plucked because she woke someone with her singing. Jose leaned towards me. Oops, he whispered cheerfully in my ear. Dinner's ready, my mother trilled. It's showtime, Jose said, rising and tugging me to my feet. I was startled when he sat next to me. I looked at him questioningly, and he turned the place card so I could see his name. Seated directly opposite me, Alouetta looked distinctly displeased. My mother came in with the turkey and stopped short when she saw Jose sitting next to me. Oh dear, she exclaimed. My place cards must have gotten mixed up. Jose, you're supposed to be at the other end of the table. Oh, Mrs. Deschabert, everyone is already seated and comfortable. Let's not make anyone move. Their mutual dislike was palpable. My mother, who does not like to be challenged, conceded victory and sat at her usual place opposite my father. My father glared at us as he carved the turkey. We should say grace, Jose said suddenly, as everyone started to pass food. He took my hand and then grasped the hand of my brother who sat on his left, forcing everyone to stop passing and receiving food so they could take the hand of the person next to them. His mumbled prayer went on so long, in fact, that I kicked him under the table. He mumbled amen, and everyone unclasped hands and picked up their forks. He continued to hold my hand, though, until I tugged it away as discreetly as I could. Across the table from him, Alouetta continued to stare at the spot where our hands had been. Looking at Jose, she asked, how do you two know each other? They were roommates in college, my mother quickly answered. Jose cut a piece of turkey with slow deliberation and brought it to his mouth. Yes, he said. Also, we're lovers. He began to chew savagely. My father dropped his fork, and my brother started to laugh, but caught sight of my mother's face and quickly stifled his mirth. We left before dessert. On the way home in the car, I said, well, that could have gone better. I don't think your brother likes me. Which one, I asked. I don't know. I can't tell them apart. Rosencrantz, I think. I wouldn't have been able to tell them apart either, except one was vaguely hostile, while the other, the younger one, vacillated between indifference and aggressive neutrality. I thought of him as little Mr. Switzerland. Jose, however, always referred to them interchangeably as Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I think you mean Guildenstern, I said, but it doesn't matter. I like you. He flashed me a smile in the dark and reached for my hand, then brought it to his lips. I love you, spaceman. I love you too, Jose. I can't believe your mother had the balls to try and set you over that pathetic bitch right in front of me. Hey, look, I pointed, hoping to distract him. The Dairy Queen is open. Come on, I'll buy you an ice cream cone. We parked and I got him a cone, refusing one for myself. I'll just have a taste of yours, I said on the way back to the car. When he brought it to his mouth, I leaned in and licked it from the other side. His eyes danced in the dashboard light, and we each licked the ice cream until our tongues met in a cold, sticky kiss. Ha! I'd like to send your mother a picture of this, he said. And that is the Thanksgiving episode of Unbroken. Thanks for joining me. I know for our tribe, Thanksgiving can be trying. I wish you all the best. I hope you enjoy it. And remember, you have a lot to be grateful for. Thanks again for joining me. Don't forget to like and share this video and follow me, and feel free to comment. All right, talk to you next time. Bye.